Hi, I'm Tammy, and I'm here to talk to you about early childhood curriculum. I'm sitting in my family home child care center right now, and it seems appropriate to be here in discussing this topic. A little bit about my history. I entered early childhood education about 20 years ago when I was living in Hawaii, and at the time Hawaii was a leader in early childhood education and the quality of programs and the quality of teachers. And so I was introduced to it at the time under some very good leadership. And I was introduced to the creative curriculum back then. And so for the last 20 years, that is the curriculum that I have used in my program. You can see some of the centers that I have set up. I've always had the environment set up to be conducive to creative curriculum learning. So since I've been using that for 20 years, learning a little bit about it in our course this week wasn't really new to me. It's what I've been practicing. Some of the reasons why I love the creative curriculum approach to early childhood learning. Some of the things that it does, that it teaches the whole child and not just a curriculum set to impart knowledge. It's an active learning program, and it's a child-directed and child-led program. The environment supports the active learning for the children, and there's interest areas, open-ended materials, and sensory experiences throughout the day. The two major parts of that is that we have to know child development, and we have to know the individual children that are in our care. So the things that I would be facilitating the children in doing today would be different than I will be doing in a year, because I'll have different children in a year. A few years ago, I also learned a little bit about the HighScope approach to education, and there's many things in that that really intrigued me, and I've added those to the creative curriculum approach that I use. So that's one of the changes that I have made. What I understand now is the value of very intentional conversations. I'm using probing dialogue with children so that their thought processes are they're able to develop their thought processes while they're being active and doing the following their interests in an environment such as this. Part of the HighScope influence and how it's changed how I use the creative curriculum is that HighScope supports acting, probing questions the adults would. It gives more freedom for the children to find solutions to their conflicts and what challenges them in their ideas. I like the language that it uses. It talks about their projects and their work and their ideas. Even though many people would think I do have a play-based program, but we don't ever call it play. It's the children's work, and it's their projects, and it's their ideas. The HighScope also has very respectful interactions with the children and the adults. It encourages rather than praises children. It invites rather than commands or coerces children, and it celebrates rather than validates children. And all of these different ways of interacting with children, especially the early learners, helps to build a strong sense of their own self and to build their self-esteem. My philosophy in early learning is strongly reflected in both the creative curriculum and in the HighScope approach to learning. I'm very passionate about preserving play in early childhood learning. It's what I started out with. I've seen children thrive and grow, and in the recent years, play has been discarded as a valid way of teaching children and assisting children in allowing them to grow. And I'm really a strong advocate to prevent that from happening any further and to see play put back into curriculum programs much more than it has been recently.